You're watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. From Toronto, Ontario, I'm Catherine Bullock. Assalamu alaikum and greetings of peace. Today we'll be talking to the Canadian Council of Muslim Women's Firdaus Ali, who's the project manager of their new digital anti-racism education project. But first, some news headlines. 6 to 10 people trapped after landslide in British Columbia. Man charged after vandalizing Toronto Mosque. Western University students speak out against Islamophobia and racism. Tributes paid to young Muslim who died saving woman in the UK. UK raises terror threat level to severe. And now the details. A landslide in British Columbia left up to 10 people trapped in their cars as debris fell on top of them. According to the CBC, David Boone, the director of the Heavy Urban Search and Rescue Task Force, says that some people survived the slide and are being rescued. Several regions of British Columbia took a heavy beating this weekend with battering rain, floods and mudslides. According to Environment Canada, winds went up to 90 kilometres an hour in Greater Victoria with up to 180 millimetres of non-stop rain. In a statement to CBC News, officials regarded this as the worst series of floods in the area since 1983. A Toronto man was arrested and charged after vandalizing the Toronto and Region Islamic Congregation Islamic Centre in early November. The man was charged with mischief under $5,000 for throwing a rock and breaking a window and damaging the wall and tile floor. This is the second act of vandalism at the centre in the last 4 months. According to the CBC, Inspector Keith Smith from the Toronto Police Service said that incidents like these can cause emotional or psychological harm and must be addressed. Toronto Mayor John Tory also showed support by visiting the centre and speaking to the administration. Students at Western University organised a Shalwar Kameez walk to speak out against Islamophobia and racism. Shalwar and Kameez refers to the traditional garb worn by many Muslim men and women. Hundreds of students participated in the walk. Keynote speakers included Dr. Fatima Jackson-Best and Opio Oloya, Western's Associate Vice President of Equity, Diversity and Inclusion. The walk comes 5 months after the 4 members of the Afzal family were tragically killed while out for an evening walk in London, Ontario, leaving a surviving 9-year-old boy an orphan. The incident was allegedly an act of hate for targeting a Muslim family, all of whom were wearing traditional clothing at the time. A young Somali man who died trying to prevent the murder of an 82-year-old British woman in London has been hailed a hero. 20-year-old Ali Abukar Ali was stabbed by the assailant as he tried to stop him from attacking Betty Walsh. Norris Henry was arrested and charged for the murder of Ali and attempted murder of Walsh. Social media posts have criticised the British media's coverage of the incident because it ignored the Somalian origin of the hero victim. The criticisms refer to the British media's heavy emphasis on the Somali background of Ali Harbi Ali, who murdered MP David Ames in October. The terror threat level in the United Kingdom was raised from substantial to severe, following a vehicle explosion in Liverpool yesterday that killed one person and injured another. The Joint Terrorism Analysis Centre raised the threat level as an investigation continues into the incident. Home Secretary Priti Patel says that the decision comes as there have been 2 terror-related incidents in 1 month. The previous incident is the murder of the Conservative MP Davis Ames. The police arrested 4 people so far in connection to the Liverpool blast. That's it for the news. And now our interview with Firdaus Ali, project manager for the Digital Anti-Racism Education Project, which is training people on how to deal with online hate, as well as what to do if you see someone experiencing it, which is known as bystander training. Welcome to the show. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Kathy.
So CCMW has begun some projects trying to address Islamophobia. Before I ask you about those, how about just a quick description of what CCMW stands for?
Yes, Kathy. So CCMW is a national organization, stands for Canadian Council of Muslim Women, and we are a not-for-profit charity doing wonderful work around women's rights, rights of Muslim Canadian Muslim women and girls, and also around equity, empowerment, and equality of Canadian Muslim women and girls across Canada.
So you're the project manager of something called the Digital Anti-Racism Education Project. Please tell us about the project.
Yes, Kathy. So it's a wonderful opportunity. So thank you for having me today. But our project is called DARE. The full form is Digital Anti-Racism Education. And we are in phase two, actually, of the project, which is kindly funded by the Government of Canada's Department of Canadian Heritage. And what this program, in a nutshell, really aims to do is to really empower our racialized Canadian Muslim women and girls around their knowledge and their awareness about being safe on digital platforms. So as many of our young girls and women are on different social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and sometimes just for being who they are or what they look like, if they're wearing the hijab, sometimes they are trolled, for their ideology or for who they are. And this project, in a nutshell, really tries to empower them with a lot of training and tools as to how they can keep themselves safe and be digitally literate when it comes to our social media.
Right.
We also
So what
have
is
another
that?
arm, sorry, of the project, which
Hmm.
talks about Islamophobia. So we want to train the larger community around what Islamophobia is and the impact it has on our women and girls.
Okay, so let's try to take those one by one. Let's start with the DARE, the training. You're helping with digital literacy. So what does that mean? Like I'm online and somebody gives me a nasty comment, and then you're going to teach me how to respond?
Yes. So, Kathy, again, we do, this project came out of a lot of evidence and evidence based data, which showed us that, girls aged 18 to 24 are really the most abused or trolled or harassed online. And taking cue from that and the fact that social media companies do not have a lot to offer to young women and girls on how to stay safe. We have introduced a training. This is a training on anti Islamophobia. That is the first part of the training where we talk about Islamophobia, gendered Islamophobia, why visibly Muslim women are attacked, and how they can stay safe. We also talk about the intersection. So, what does it mean to be a Black Muslim woman? Or what does it mean to be a Muslim woman living with a disability? So, these are the different intersections that we talk about.
Hmm.
But the second part of the training is actually countering cyber hate. So, in the context of Islamophobia, if you are trolled, if you are doxxed, if you are abused online, what is the counter narrative? How do you counter the hate? Because we don't want these young women and girls to compromise on their safety, with countering hate with hate. So how can we do it effectively through dialogue, through strategy? That is what the countering cyber hate workshop is all about. So
Right.
we had these
So,
workshops in summer. We had about 400 people that we trained in summer, and
hmm,
then we have another training rolling out in the fall, which
hmm.
is from now until March of 2022.
So when you talk to the girls who you're online and you get this nasty comment like you Muslim, go home or something, how does that impact women, their sense of self?
I think that, to women and men, when you are trolled or abused or harassed, it's just like street harassment or street abuse. It has a huge impact, I think, not only on the person, but the person, all the people around them. It could be your community, your family. And sometimes these young women and girls are really vulnerable, or they are intimidated, so they do not share the information with their families. And even if they do, they don't know, the families sometimes don't know how to help them. So I think that, besides staying safe, how can you have your settings in a way that you are not exposed, you're not being vulnerable, you're not showing where you are, where you can be an easy target. But we also talk about bystander intervention, which is really, really important in the conversation of hate, especially online hate. So meaning that, if you are a bystander, you're seeing someone else being hated, or trolled or abused, what can you do? to help the person or to support the person, so that he or she is not alone or does not feel that they are alone. So I think these are really effective strategies. We call it bystander intervention.
So
And
these
we
are
are good
the
for
things that you'll be doing in the fall workshops, teaching people how to help either yourself if you received it or if you watched someone else. So you're going to be teaching people how to handle it.
Absolutely. So more information on the social media platform, but also how to stay safe and how to keep others safe. And just to let you know that we have these trainings rolling out in this month, starting actually October, and we are working with organizations like OCASI, Muslim Children's Aid and Support Services. So wonderful organizations that have come forward and feel that this training is really, really going to benefit their community, their clients, their members.
So if
And a
somebody
lot of
wants to get
information on the
training,
training
yeah,
is available on our website, which is called daretobeaware.ca. That's the
dare to be
website.
aware.ca. So if someone wants to get the training, they'll
Yes.
reach out to you through this.
Absolutely. So there's a link there where you can contact us, but have
Mhm.
a look at what these trainings are, and hopefully they will be beneficial for you or your organization. It could also be your school, right? Like your mosque, your place of worship, or just a network of women or men that come together on a monthly or a weekly basis. We can host these trainings, whether they are in person or virtually. We can create a flyer to promote it, but really work with you as a partner
And do
to
you
make
have to
sure
pay
that
to
these.
attend? Do you have to pay to attend?
No, so these are absolutely free. Really important to mention that they're absolutely free to your community, but they can be held only between now and March. And also, the wonderful thing, Kathy, is that those who take the training, so both the anti Islamophobia and the countering cyber hate workshops, they receive a certificate from CCMW. That
Mm.
certificate is in digital anti racism education.
Right, that's nice. Now, at the beginning of the show, when I asked you about the project, you mentioned that it had two aspects to it, and the other one was something called Hate to Healing. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that one.
Thank you, Kathy, for bringing that out. But because this is a training component, which I think is beneficial to all. But another big component of this project is actually a social media campaign. It's an anti-hate, anti-Islamophobia social media campaign, where we did a call out a few months ago, and we had Muslim women and girls come and share their stories. So we most often read in our newspapers or in the media of so many attacks that are against Muslim men and women. We know the Quebec terror attack. We know the attack on the Muslim man outside a Toronto mosque, and the most recent attack on the Afzal family in London, Ontario. There are also attacks on Black Muslim women in Edmonton, in Calgary. So,
Mm.
really, we invited women to share their stories. It could just be racism, Islamophobia, microaggressions. And we have 15 such compelling stories that we have made videos of. We had hired professional filmmakers, and they all kind of culminated into a social media campaign. It's called Hate to Healing. And like the name suggests, these stories have a huge power to heal. When we talk to each other and we share our experiences, that it's almost like counseling, it's almost like therapy. So these videos are therapeutic. So we started on October 1st, which is Islamic Heritage Month. We launch one video every Friday, and like I said, each story is unique, each experience very compelling.
And
So
where
just
will
to tell.
people find those? If they wanted to check this out, it's already half November. How will they
Yes.
come across them?
Absolutely. So it's on the same website, Kathy. So it's daretobeaware.ca. And
Mhm.
the first story we had was of Noor, who's a young woman from Vancouver who was attacked on a sky train. And most importantly, as she shared her story, and the dilemma she faced of the hate attack, she was trolled online. When she shared her experience online, a lot of people re-victimized her and trolled her. So again, it kind of connects to the online hate or the online
Mhm.
harassment piece that I just spoke about. And there are many such stories that I think we all as women can resonate with. And I think someone just asked me, what is the goal of this campaign? So the goal is definitely to make people aware that this is happening. The impact of Islamophobia on Muslim women is huge. But I think that it's also an opportunity for women like us to come and share our own pieces. We've been immigrants, we've come to this country, we have faced a lot. So really, on the website itself, there is a link which says share your story or share your experience, and we want people to kind of come forward and share these with us as well.
Sometimes I think there are two aspects to that. You can get re-traumatized as you tell the story, but also it can also spread a sense of panic or fear against people living around. So how do you help people through those anxieties?
That's a great question, Kathy. And I think it's, we have a lot of mental health and resources that deal with trauma that we can share with the participants. But there's also an opportunity to remain anonymous and to share them. So let's say you don't want to share your name or your face, but really it's therapeutic because we know that when we talk about our experiences and someone else is supporting us or say, this also happened to me and I'm so glad you shared and you spoke about it. Sometimes it's a taboo topic that no one really talks about because we do talk about homophobia, we do talk about sexism, we do talk about a lot of things, anti-Black racism, and really sharing is healing. That's as the name suggests. And we are here to work with you on the trauma that you face. But I'd like to just importantly mention, Kathy, that these videos don't focus on the hate or the attack, but they're really on the positivity. How these women have, come
How
resilient
they've
and have
handled it. How
coped
they've
with it.
handled
Yes.
it. Well, unfortunately, we have to leave it there, but we commend you for bringing this out. This is a very important area. Our community definitely needs help and resources, so we commend you for the project, and thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Kathy, for having me. All the best to you. Khuda Hafiz.
That's it from us. You've been watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Stay tuned for the next episode. Stay safe and God bless.